Who've already reached there. It's the beginning of a new struggle. So far, Egypt's only allowed a trickle of Libyans into the country. Jamal El reports now from Saloum on the Egypt-Libya border.
Thousands have come through this crossing, fleeing the violence racking Libya. They've taken as much as they can carry: televisions, refrigerators and washing machines. They don't know when it will be safe for them to return. They also brought with them horrific tales of mercenaries, airstrikes and bloodshed.
We do not know where they're coming from. They're not Libyans. They're African mercenaries. They're shooting people randomly. These people are trying to protect themselves from these mercenaries in places like Tobruk, Benghazi, Al-Baida and Drana.
Mobile hospitals have been set up to help those injured in the violence. Ambulances wait to take people for treatment, although facilities here are basic at best. So far, only Egyptians have been let through and a handful of Libyans. Reports are thousands remain injured on the other side of the border. Volunteers and charities have organized several convoys. Some have already made it into Libya, bringing much-needed medical equipment. There's also a severe shortage of blood, so they're carrying thousands of liters with them too.
The administration of the medical affairs in Matruh supported us with a crew of physicians. We prepared the intensive care unit for any emergencies coming from Libya. The unit is ready for anything, even for open-heart surgery, and the army has prepared a hospital near the port.
Both those going in and coming out are calling for help from the international community. Many feel that the plight of the Libyan people is being deliberately ignored and want to see concrete action on the ground to bring an end to the bloodshed. Jamal El-Shayal, AlJazeera, Saloum on the Egypt-Libya border.
The moment the New Zealand earthquake struck, captured on closed-circuit camera. We'll be live in Christchurch as the city was ripped apart by the tragedy. Plus, rehabilitating former foes, Pakistan tries to reintegrate the Swat Valley's Taliban fighters. Stay with us.
Welcome back. We are first going to start with Japan. A lot of rain coming in from the south first on Thursday. And then as we go into Friday, all that rain shower activity moves up towards the central and northern parts of Japan. You can see Osaka at 13, going up to about 14, but still very rainy conditions as we go into Tokyo. Their temperature comes up, but it's going to be a very rainy day for them. On Friday, we're also going to be seeing some very clear skies anywhere from Pyongyang down to Seoul, Vladivostok. Unfortunately, your high temperature is only going to be about -6 degrees for you. Down towards Australia, we're going to be seeing some very heavy rain showers still for the western part of Australia. On Thursday, those are going to start to die down. As we go into Friday, that cyclone moves offshore, but warm temperatures still down towards the south. We're looking at anywhere from about 33 to 35 degrees anywhere along the Great Bight, and also up towards the north, Darwin, about 29 degrees, but very wet conditions for you. And of course, very importantly, down towards New Zealand, where we had that earthquake, over towards Christchurch. Thursday, not looking too bad. Relief and recovery efforts are going to be very good weather for them. But as we go into Friday, more rain shower activity will be coming into the forecast. We are going to be seeing temperatures for Wellington about 19 with some slight rain showers in the activity, and that cyclone is moving offshore.
It is in the details. A look, a connection, the moments that reveal the truth. Award-winning documentaries from critically acclaimed filmmakers. Witness documentaries to open your eyes. At this time on Al Jazeera.
Welcome back. Here's a reminder of our top stories here on Al Jazeera. There are reports that the first western city of Misrata is under the control of protesters. According to a witness, 6 people were killed and 200 injured in the city, which lies about 120 kilometres west of the capital, Tripoli. US President Barack Obama has condemned violence in Libya, calling it outrageous and unacceptable. And with the pressure rising, Gaddafi's son, Saif al-Islam, has called on Libyans to come together to fight in what he called a national battle. Saif claimed the trouble was in the eastern parts of the country. Muammar Gaddafi has always promoted himself as one of Africa's great leaders, touting a vision of progress and wealth for the entire continent. Now, after a week of violence in Libya, the African Union has condemned his actions against the pro-democracy movement. Yvonne Ndege reports now from Abuja.
The images of violence in Libya have appalled Africans across the continent, as they have the whole world, especially because the man at the center of the crisis, Muammar Gaddafi, has positioned himself as a champion of the continent, vigorously promoting the Pan-Africanist idea of a United States of Africa, one in which he would be president. A continent with one army, one passport, one currency, called the Afro. So what will become of Colonel Gaddafi's vision if he's toppled from power in Libya?
The exit of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya will have some tremendous consequences on the capacity, especially in terms of the tremendous energy and resources that he has dedicated towards ensuring that African unity, or what he calls an African continental government, comes into force.
The African Union, which was to be Gaddafi's vehicle for the idea, ignored him when he was its chairman last year. Despite that, the Libyan leader used his country's vast oil wealth to influence some in the organization, spending billions of dollars on everything from aid, the military, humanitarian and infrastructure projects, to buying expensive gifts and building monuments dedicated to African leaders. Focusing on getting the poorest and most fragile states like Chad, Central African Republic and Niger to buy into his ideas and broaden his popularity. If he goes, the African Union will be seriously out of pocket. The organization released this statement on the crisis.
The AU condemns the disproportionate use of force against civilians and deeply deplores the many human lives lost so far.
If Gaddafi does go, will he be missed? Unlikely here in Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, where the Libyan leader recently called for the country to be broken up in order to quell religious violence, leading many Nigerians to dismiss him as mad.
There have been many inconsistencies in how Colonel Gaddafi has positioned the identity of Libya, either whether it's an Arab Islamic country or whether it's a black African country. And I think what he's tended to do is to play the game of a political chameleon, taking on a different shade depending on what is actually supportive of his own objectives, not necessarily in support of Africa or the Arab states.
While he may not be missed, Colonel Gaddafi is one of the last African leaders to remember a continent largely ruled by Europeans. The